Hello everybody and welcome back. You're tuned in with Imhotep Ramses II, also known as Omar Lyons. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you've been having a good day and a great week. So we're going to continue with our GED and ASVAB mathematics, and this is part 4 in our percentage series. And in this part, we're going to look at two problems, and I'm going to try to demonstrate two different ways. They're similar, but they're different ways to solve this problem. Again, please feel free to check out our Facebook page at Omar Imhotep Ramses Lyons, our Facebook business page at facebook.com/omarlyons.org/ and we do offer consultations and tutoring in person or from a distance through the wonderful technology of Skype and WhatsApp. Okay, let's get into it. All right, so the first question is going to be, let's see, 20% of what number is 80? 20% of what number is 80? Right, 20% of what number is 80? So there are two ways you can approach this. One way would be, we can do the proportion way, and if you've watched our previous videos, we did some ratio and proportion problems, so you can do it that way, or there's another way you can do it. So let's look at the two ways to do it. So with the proportion way, the ratio and proportion way, you can simply say, okay, 20% equals 80 out of how much? Right? 20%, which is represented by 20 over 100, equals 80 out of how much? Because it's asking 20% of what number is 80. So 80 is 20% of what bigger number? So it's 80 out of something. So we're trying to find out what that x is, what that bigger number is. So again, remember that this bottom left number multiplied by this top right number is going to be equal to this top left number, 20, times this bottom right number, represented by x right now. So we're now going to have, and by the way, you can go ahead and reduce this and make the numbers smaller right now, because this is one problem right here, or this is one set of numbers right here, 20 over 100. So this can go ahead and be reduced to 1/5, and then you'll have even smaller numbers to work with if you like. But I'm going to go ahead and work it out with the numbers that we do have anyway. All right, so we're going to have 20x equals 100 times 80. And what's 100 times 80? It's just going to be 80, and then you put the two zeros next to it, right? So that's going to be 8,000. So therefore, to get the x by itself, we're going to divide by 20, because previously we're multiplying by 20, yes? Yes. Okay, so there we have it. 20 cancels out with the 20, so now we're left with 1x, or x, and then 0 cancels with 0, 2 into itself is 1, and 2 goes into 800 how many times? If we're not sure, let's just go digit by digit. 2 into 8 goes 4 times, and the two zeros remain the same. So our answer for this problem is 400. Okay, now that's one method of solving it. The next method of solving it would be to actually, when you get a problem like this, is to divide the number by the percentage. So, for example, we'd have here 80 divided by 20%, which is going to be 80 times 100 over 20. And once we get it like that, we can go ahead and reduce and cross-reduce if we like. So 0 cancels 0, 2 into itself is 1, 2 into 10 is 5. So now we're left with 80 times 5, which it gives us 400. So either way, we should still get 400 here and 400 there. Okay, very good. So that's the first problem. The second problem is going to be 240 is 80% of what number? 240 is 80% of what number? So you definitely, when you're working these problems, you definitely want to try to think about having an idea of what the answer is before you even technically start to write it down and work it out. And in that way, once you start to arrive at your answer, you'll have a good idea of whether or not you're at least in the ballpark. 240 is 80% of what number? Okay, great. So, make sure you can see the board. Okay, so again, we can work this out two different ways. We can do 240 divided by 80%, and that should give us the answer. So we'll have 240 divided by 80 over 100, which is then going to be 240 multiplied by 100 over 80. Okay, and then 0 cancels with 0. 8 into itself goes one time. 8 into 24 goes 3 times. So what are we left with? 3 times 100, which gives us 300. So 300 is the answer. Right? 300 is the answer. We could also use the proportion method, right? And we could say, okay, let's see. 80% or 80 over 100 equals 240 out of how much? So 80 over 100 equals 240 over x. And again, we can go ahead and reduce here first if we'd like, because we just have 80 over 100, so you can always reduce that. That's just like a regular fraction. Or we can go ahead and just do it with the numbers as they are. So we'll have 80x, right? 80 times x equals 100 times 240, which is 240 times 100, you're just going to have 240, and then you put those 2 zeros to the right of it. It's going to be 240 plus the 2 zeros. It's going to be 24,000, yeah? So then, to get x by itself, we're going to do the opposite of what we're doing here. Here we're multiplying x, here we're going to be dividing x. Or dividing the 80x, sorry. So we're dividing by 80 over here to get rid of this 80, and of course whatever we do for one side, we must do for the other side. Okay, so 80 cancels out with 80 here, 0 cancels 0, and 8 into itself is one time, 8 into 24 is 3 times, and those 2 zeros remain the same, so our answer still, again, is 300. So you've seen two ways of doing the same problem and getting the same correct answer. I hope this was helpful for everybody. Tune into our other videos. And if you need to schedule a consultation or a tutoring session, please feel free to reach out to us. Like us on our Facebook page, subscribe, comment. Feel free to donate if you wish. If you help us, that'll help us to help more people. And we're here for educating and empowering the masses of people. And we also offer financial education. So again, I hope this was helpful. This is yours truly, Imhotep Ramses II, also known as Omar Lyons. Have a great day. Thank you. Come again.